It's time for another edition of Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com. I'm your host, Tony Simeone, and Notre Dame has now won 7 straight football games. It was really fun to watch this past weekend as the Irish beat Navy. What an awesome rivalry, just filled with amazing tradition and history. 98th ever playing, and the offense and defense looked great. It was so fun to watch and call that game, see all the pageantry on display. And it's hard to believe, but we're down to the final 3 regular season games of the season, and the one coming up this week is just a huge one. I mean, this is a ranked game against Pitt, a top 25 matchup. College game day is going to be there, so I'm getting pretty fired up already for this weekend. And so we kept this show a football show for this week. Coach Freeman came by. It was great to talk to him. And our guest this week was James Rendell. And I'm sure Irish fans are very familiar with James Rendell at this point. He has become one of the best punters in the entire country. I mean, he just booms the ball. And we frankly talked a little bit about the logistics of punting, which I was pleased with. I wanted to learn a little bit more about the craft. It's a unique part of the game that I think we don't pay enough attention to. But of course, we spent a good amount of time learning a lot about where he comes from, which is Australia. So much Australia talk. You're actually going to see in this episode, we kind of did a reverse order with Isaiah Dunn coming by first. And we unpacked a ton, from all the different animals to different parts of the entire country, where you live, what the climate's like. So just a really cool conversation, learning more about James and his upbringing. And then our second ever taste test is at the end of this episode. I strongly recommend sticking around till the end. We tried Vegemite. I'll just tell you what it was. And first time for everything. I won't say what the reactions were. Keep it close to the vest. Myself and Coach Freeman tried it for the first time. You have to check it out at the end of the episode to see what it was like. We also tried some Tim Tams, but the Vegemite portion is obviously where you're going to see the fireworks. And it was just a great moment. Second taste test. So we've got the famous Coke challenge with Coach Shrewsbury, blind taste test, where I smoked him, got all the styles of Coke correct, and he did not. And now this Vegemite taste test was more of a taste and rate situation for me and Coach Freeman. We actually never rated it. We just gave our feedback. But you get the concept. Really fun stuff. James Rendell was awesome. One more reminder before we start this episode is that for more than 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping people find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. They're nationally known and locally run by an outstanding team that believes in supporting the Michiana community. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Okay, let's not waste any more time. Let's talk to James Rendell and Isaiah Dunn. Different setup today, a reverse episode. James Rendell is here. James, welcome to Wake Up the Echoes. Isaiah Dunn, always great to have you here.
Always great to be here.
Okay, Coach is going to come here later. We're going to start with our very special segment, Tell Me a Story, presented by Yeti, our good friends at Yeti. So before we start, James, what we always do, I've got the cooler here, provided by Yeti. They hook us up. We've got Coke products. Is there anything you'd like here? We've got Dasani water. We've got a Coke. We've got Topo Chico.
I'll probably stick with the Dasani water for now, please. Yeah.
I'm going Topo Chico today.
Topo Chico.
Let's do it.
Topo Chico. It's sparkling water?
Yeah.
I might have to get some of that. Yeah.
I'll swap you out right now.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
I won't throw it.
All right, it's glass.
Yep. Because that could go everywhere. There you go. And then, do we have enough?
Yeah.
We've got 3.
Yep.
So here's the deal. If Coach...
Thank you.
And try some of this.
Yeah, it's good here.
Has a little fizz to it.
Oh, and I want you to pick note, and definitely don't mention any of the competitors, but think of the other sparkling waters you've had. Do you feel how big those bubbles are?
Are we all?
No, they're massive.
Okay.
They're big bubbles.
See me.
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
We've sold it well here.
Yeah. Coke product.
There you go.
Yeah, Topo Chico. Look at that.
Opening it.
Brand placement too.
Yeah.
Okay. So Isaiah, you've come with some ammunition to start this conversation. I'm going to sit back and listen and chime in, and then we'll go from there, as we always do. Take us along for the ride. Great vest, by the way.
Thank you. Great vest, too. I think it's the best day. We should have let you know.
Yeah, it's on a...
Okay. We'll figure it out. No, we're good. We're good. I think it's only right to start this up. We've had a certain topic each week, and something that's been consistent were animals a little bit with other teammates. We had the scorpion, which is a huge thing that he survived.
I survived the scorpion attack.
I'm a big fan of the podcast, so I did listen to it.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. You know what?
He's caught up.
Real quick, you might be the first guy that's shown up who's actually gone back and done his research, so this is great.
He's prepared.
Always got to be prepared.
Right.
Preparation is key.
And since it's fitting that he's from Australia, I can't imagine how many animal stories he has. And apparently he has some. So I said, feel free to share how many you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple. And it is a bit of a topic of discussion, the animals in Australia. I get asked some crazy questions like, do I have a pet kangaroo or anything like that? First off, kangaroos are kind of like deer. Like, you see them everywhere. So I remember one time I was like teeing off on a fairway, and this golf course was kind of like 2 hours out of the city, and there was just like 50 kangaroo on the fairway.
50?
And
50.
yeah,
Wow.
something like that. Yeah, they move in numbers. Yeah, there's a big pack of them. So
Did not know that.
Know that.
some people think that they're aggressive, because I know there's a few videos that circulate online of them like drowning other dogs and trying to punch people and stuff, but they're really not aggressive at all. I think
Just a few bad eggs.
Yeah, I think you'd have to really do something to piss one off for it to
Really?
be aggressive.
Okay.
Like, I was getting within like 5 yards of them while I'm trying to like hit a 9-iron on the fairway. But yes, that's kangaroos. But the only animal that I'm actually scared of in Australia is probably not what you think. It's a magpie, which is a bird. I don't know if you have them here. It's like a black and white bird.
When you first said that, I thought it was
Magpie.
pastry.
Yeah,
it's
magpie.
That's
And they're particularly scary in September. It's swooping season in September. It's a whole thing.
Hold on. What are swooping?
Hold on.
Yeah, so that's their mating season. So I think the mother magpies become very protective of the nest, and there's a nest in nearly every single tree that you walk under. And like, they swoop you, they will draw blood on your face. Like, I remember one time when I was in high school, I was walking to high school, and there was this one tree out the front of high school, and I was afraid to walk under it every day in September because this bird would just, like, I could hear it coming and it would clip my ears, and yeah, I was running for my life.
What's it hitting you with?
Beak.
A talon? A beak? Okay.
Beak. It's sharp beak. Yeah.
So
They swoop you, and like, if you're a cyclist, there's a lot of cyclists in Australia, and if you're riding your bike in September, you have to like put spikes on your helmets to like deter the bird.
No
So,
way.
Great job.
Yeah.
This is we have so much to unpack here.
so that's actually the only animal I've probably ever been scared of.
So real quick,
Right.
if you're biking with spikes on your helmet, aren't you now a hazard to the other cyclists on the road with the spikes?
You're saying no?
Yeah.
No,
how
they're
big?
just, it's like pretty much just like a bit of a wire or
Okay.
some plastic wire that you just
Okay.
put up. They're not that big, but for some reason it sort of deters the magpies from swooping you.
I feel like now September
It's-
for the football team should be referred to as swooping.
Yeah, swooping season. Yeah, it's a big deal.
and that's pretty fast. Like, you see, like, is it something that you see and then you're like,
Yeah, they'll
Right,
run
do you feel-
fast. You got to be on your toes. Like, you got to have your head on a swivel at all
Oh,
times.
wow.
Yeah, it's dangerous out there.
and do they travel together like the kangaroos?
No, they don't. I think they ride solo.
Okay.
But
It makes them even a little bit more terrible.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're like a lone wolf coming to get you. So you got to be careful out there. I have stepped on a stingray once before. That was kind of scary. And obviously a stingray, unfortunately, tragically killed it.
It got Steve Irwin, right? Yeah.
Steve Irwin. But again, those are probably animals that you have to provoke for them to be aggressive, but they do hide under the sand. And I guess, Australia is along every city's along the coast. So there's always a beach close by, and I'd love going down to the beach. And I stepped on one once. It didn't barb me, which was fortunate, but that was probably the only other time I've been scared of an animal in Australia. We got big spiders.
Yeah.
The huntsman spiders is the biggest one. They can sometimes grow as large as a dinner plate. But don't worry, they're not venomous. So, you don't have to worry about getting bitten by them. But I do remember one time, so I'm not sure what the rules are around road rules in America, but in Australia, like, if you're on your learner's permit, you can get your learners at 16 years old, but you have to do like 120 hours with someone that's got a full license, and then be able to get off your learner permit and get your full license. So one time when I was younger, my brother was trying to get his driving hours up. He was on his learner's permit, and it was me and my dad was supervising him driving, and I was sitting in the back seat. And we're on a main road, and we're parked up at a red light, and then I just saw out the corner of my eye this massive huntsman just like crawling across the dashboard. And
Inside the car.
inside of the car, on the inside. And my brother got a little bit scared and just floored it, hit the gas straight through a red light. And I reckon we were only a few yards off getting clipped by this massive semi-trailer. So that was pretty funny. We ended up pulling over. Yeah. We ended up pulling over, and he like jumped out the car, but we survived that one.
I'm happy everyone's okay.
Yeah.
First off.
Yeah.
Second, spiders. Like I'm scared of.
Yeah, I think I do have like a little arachnophobia.
I do.
I'm really not good with them. All right, so
Mm-mm.
you don't have that? You're good with them?
No, I definitely used to, but I one time I found one in our backyard. It was kind of on this chair, and it was a big, like, fat, juicy one. And so I hit it with a flip flop to get rid of it, and this yellow like goo went everywhere. It was a bit of a mess to clean up. So I made a promise to myself in that moment that I would never harm another huntsman spider. So if I ever see one, well, when I used to see one in the house, I would grab like a big glass and sort of pin it up against the wall and slide a sheet of paper underneath, and then go out in the backyard or front yard and just release it back into the wild. But
That's awesome.
I certainly used to be a lot scared when I was younger.
Honoring the life of the spider.
Yeah.
I certainly appreciate that. I could never do it. I would just be leaving. Like I just leave the property.
Right.
And if it was my house, I might just put it up for sale. Because I don't know if a spider the size of a dinner plate in my house, I don't know if I can ever go to sleep in that house again.
I can't. And I've seen way too many videos of it, like in corners of the houses, and like I'm leaving. You're right. I'm with you. I'm moving.
How do you close your eyes again in that house?
You don't.
Question about the kangaroos, just to go back to that. The pouch. Like, so when you see the 50 kangaroos, are there babies in the pouch walking? Like, I've just never seen a kangaroo
I
and
haven't either.
seen it up close, like how that process works. Are there little joeys
Yeah,
in the pouch?
Yep, that's correct. The little babies are called joeys. And yeah, the mothers do have pouches. I've never seen one in the wild that's actively like carrying joeys in its pouch, but I've seen them at the zoo and stuff, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, they're actually kind of cute, to be honest.
Yes, they look cute. Staying on kangaroos, because I have another question on them. Is it a myth or is it real that what you said? I kind of think they're aggressive.
Yeah.
And that's probably just off videos, but it looks like they got hands. Like
Yeah.
they get ready to.
No, yeah, they got hands, but they also got feet, right? They got claws on their feet, and the claws are pretty sharp, and they kind of like get in like a boxer stance and bounce up on their tail, and you don't want to get too close because they'll jump and like lunge and like kick you, and they have those sharp claws, and I guess just due to their height, where they're going to make contact with you is kind of around the midsection groin region, so you don't.
How tall are they?
Some can get probably. I'm trying to convert centimeters into feet here. That's
compared to a human, are they kind of like
they're
about the size of?
I've never seen one as tall as me, but yeah, probably like
5 feet.
Yeah, 5 feet. Yeah, 5 feet 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, this is an Australian question. This is a phenomenal start. I'm learning so much. Isn't a large portion of the interior of Australia like uninhabitable? Like you can't live in the majority of the country, right? Because it's so hot. Is that true? Or I guess just help me understand.
Yeah, correct. Well, it was funny when I first got here. Like a lot of my teammates thought that I just lived in a stick hut, like in the outback. But we actually have cities, believe it or not, in Australia. And all the cities are kind of along the coastline. So in the far west, you've got Perth, which is kind of like its own country, and then you've got Adelaide, which is where I was actually born, but there's not much going on there besides. It's got nice beaches, and then there's Melbourne, where I've lived most of my life, and Sydney and Brisbane and Gold Coast. So they're kind of all around the coast. And if you go into the centre of Australia, there's actually like a big tourist attraction there. It's called Uluru. It's like this massive rock. I don't know, you guys have heard of that. And there are some communities that live out there, but yeah, a lot of it is uninhabitable. But yeah, Australia's got everything. We've got rainforests, and if you go to far north Queensland, there's a lot of rainforests. It snows in the mountains about 4 hours out of Melbourne. I've never been, but I've seen my fair share of snow here, especially today. So I don't feel like I'm missing out.
That's why you came to sit. Get that snow fix.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Australia is actually kind of like similar size to the US geographically.
Yeah.
It's just.
And there's a similar geographic diversity. Like the U.S. has so many different climates because it's so big, but it doesn't have the middle of the country where you just really can't survive, which I find interesting about Australia.
Yeah, correct.
How long does it take to fly coast to coast? Is it about the same?
Remember I asked you this?
Yeah. I've done it once. I think it was like 3 or 4 hours to get to Perth.
Okay.
From Melbourne, but then again, Sydney's probably more eastern. So if you went from Sydney to Perth, it's probably about. Maybe a little bit longer, but yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I asked him like how long it took for him to get home. You fly here to California, right?
Yeah.
And then
it's too long. it was a bit of a mess. I remember when we came over here for the first time, my mum came out with me in May last year, and our flight got delayed in Melbourne on the terminal, so we had to wait like an extra 4 hours there. And then we finally boarded our flight, and it was meant to be direct from Melbourne to LAX, but there was an issue with the cabin crew, so we had to stop over in Honolulu, but we didn't really get to see any of Hawaii. We had to stay on the plane the whole time.
You saw the airport.
Yeah, saw the inside of the plane, which was good. And then we stayed over there for another 4 hours. So, and then the trip is actually like 16 hours, I think, direct from Melbourne to LAX. So we'd already added on an extra 8 hours by that stage. And then obviously we missed our connecting flight in LA, so I had to wait there at that airport for a little bit longer, and finally got on the plane. And then another 4 hours from LA to Chicago, and then a 2-hour drive down here. But once I got on campus,
The drive, once you that is a real kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we made it. Oh, you got to get a car and draw.
but once we got on campus and I realized where I was, it was all worth it.
Yeah. I have a friend whose wife is actually from Australia. I believe her family is in Melbourne, and they have 2 small kids. And they've basically said they probably go back, I think, twice a year. I've never heard of them having a eventless trip back to Australia, because it seems almost impossible to just go point to point. You're going to run into some connection issue or something like that, because it's truly on the other side of the world. It's kind of amazing that, like, you were on the other side of the world. Like, do you ever think about that? The other side of the whole thing? Blows my mind sometimes, but I think about it too long.
Yeah.
It's all the way over there.
I think
Seriously,
it's a long way away. But I think I'm really good at just being where my feet are. And sometimes I forget that I'm, from Australia.
Yeah.
But it was good. I went back for a couple of weeks in May and caught up with friends and family, and it was great to see all them. But, they were still doing the same thing as when I left. So I don't really have too much FOMO. And I have a lot of purpose here, being on the other side of the world. And, I think as long as I've got that, then I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a long way away when you think about it.
Okay. Let's take a break.
Let's do it.
And we'll come back and pick up where you left off. Okay. Isaiah, James, you're still here. This is great. Reverse episode today. I love it. Coach Freeman will be here later, but I'm thoroughly enjoying what we've been covering. And we left off talking about how you got here to the States and how you feel like you're where you're supposed to be. By the way, this is our subject matter expert segment presented by the subject matter experts at TireRack.com. Thank you to them. Let's stay on the topic of coming to Notre Dame. Like, now you've been here, you've been through it for a year, it's your second year. Just what's it been like to be, again, you talk about being so far from home, but what's the experience been like being here on campus?
Yeah, it's been everything I could have imagined and more. And, like I was saying, I felt like I was at home right away as soon as I got here. And it's a credit to the people, in the football organization, but also the greater Notre Dame community as well. So, when I started out on this punting journey, I knew I'd get a scholarship somewhere in America, but I had no idea where. So to end up at a place like the University of Notre Dame, where I've got, the absolute best of both worlds, in terms of athletics and academics as well, it's just been a true blessing, and I'm so incredibly grateful to be here. I wake up and still pinch myself every day, that this is the life I'm living. But, I'm just, really grateful for the opportunity to be here.
What's it like from your standpoint, Isaiah, when somebody comes from halfway across the world to join the locker room? Because I've heard, all different guys come on the couch. They talk about how great the culture is. And I'm going to talk to Coach Freeman later about it. And I'm happy to hear from you too. Like, the diversity of a football locker room is fascinating. And this is like another piece of the quilt, right? It's like you get this completely different perspective from him. And just listening to it for the last 20 minutes, like, my mind's blown. It's got to be a great addition to the locker room. But how do you guys make sure that when someone comes from so far away, they feel welcomed from the second they get on campus?
For sure. I think immediately the guys on the team, like the people that he was talking about, when new guys come in all the time, it's a really exciting moment because the locker room already has so much chemistry. But no matter what they bring to the table, like when James comes in, he has his accent, the guys love it. They're like, wait, hold on. First of all, you're a kicker and you're 6'10", and he's huge. And he's like,
can we split you at tight end?
You go run the ball. Like immediately he was just a factor that impacted the locker room. But he's just a good soul. Like, you can hear him talk, and he's just a genuine person, and he's so easy to talk to. But back to like the other guys, also, it's like when they bring all these different characteristics of where they're from and what they bring to the table, it's a great place to be.
I saw a video, I think from last year's training camp with you kind of like meeting the new players. And the thing that few things stuck out to me I wanted to follow up on. So you said when you got here, a lot of people were saying bet, as in like, and you described it as it kind of means cool. Is people still saying bet? Because I feel like it's kind of fallen out of fashion. They still say bet?
A little bit, yeah, sometimes.
Not as much.
Definitely not as prominent as when I first got here, but yeah, that was kind of one of the big, sort of lingos I had.
Is there another like American lingo or slang you've picked up since being around that you're like, oh, I didn't realize they said that on this half of the world?
When I greet people now, I say yo a lot. Like I'll never say that in Australia. Yeah, it's always like, hey mate, how you going? But
so when you go back, you won't drop a yo on somebody?
I did, and I put on a bit of an accent when I went back in May just to see if my mates would pick up on it. But yeah,
what's your accent? You have an American accent?
Yeah, I mean, for our talent show, we had to do a talent show when we first got here, and I put on this southern accent.
I see. It was awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can replicate it right now.
The talent show, all the content stays the talent show.
Yeah,
that much I know.
Yeah.
What is like the greeting for you guys now? Or he's saying yo. You guys all say yo? Like what's up? I'm so old. I say
yo, what's up?
What it do?
What's good?
What's good?
Yeah,
a lot of what?
What's good's another one.
What's good?
Yeah.
I know how to fit in with you young kids these days. Next time
I don't really say bet. I might text bet though. I still text. Like, okay,
why would you not just like thumbs up it? It's the same thing, right?
I feel
like we're going to the dining hall at 12:30. Like be there, be square, and you're just gonna write bet.
I almost think bet is quicker than thumbs up. Like you have to like hold it on and then
bet is 3 punches and a send. So that's 4 punches. You just double tap. And a third.
I think I can do bet pretty quickly.
Tony on this one.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
You're the way to go.
Yeah.
Time it. We'll see which one.
Don't overthink the emojis. You've mentioned golf a couple times, and I saw there's an interview I think on Irish Sports Daily, where you're talking about punting as like a golf swing. You can't think about it. Can we elaborate on that a little bit? And I guess first of all, what's your golf background?
I don't have much of a golf background. I play socially a little bit, but I'm not the best golfer. I'll be the first to admit that. But
you golf?
Yeah, I think the first step for me would to be actually to get properly tailor-made clubs, because mine are a little bit short, so I'm breaking my back every time. I'm trying to.
I know a guy that can help you out.
Yeah,
you come to me, I'll hook you up.
Yeah, that's clutch.
So why is punting like a golf swing there? What are the similarities? Help me understand.
Yeah, so when you're away from the performance arena, I think that's when the time when you really want to hone in on your technique and your craft. And like when I think about punting this, I always say it's simple, but it's hard, because it's hard to do all the simple things, simultaneously, consistently, because when you think about it, you got 1.2 seconds really once you catch the ball from the snap. So you got to deal with the snap. Shout out Joe Vinci. He's really good at putting it on my hip. He's our long snapper here. You got 1.2 seconds because you got the guys rushing you, trying to block it, but you got to, catch the ball and you got to mold it right. So you got to get the laces pointing out to 1 o'clock, but you got to tilt the ball so it's kind of facing 11 o'clock. You got to get it over your right leg. And then, depending on the height you drop it at, or, if you got to like extend it out as well, it's all going to impact the kick. And you want to try and hit the ball slightly nose down as well. But there's just so much technique that goes into it. But I say it's like golf, because you want to train all those conscious like technique things away from the performance arena. And then when you're in there, you kind of want to be subconscious with it. I think.
Think of nothing.
When the mind kind of shuts up, like the body is able to do what you've trained it to do. So I maybe only have like 1 or 2 cues when I'm actually, out there and going in practice or in a game. And then you kind of just want to pick a target and just send it that way. So when you think about it, it's pretty simple in the sense that what you're trying to do is just kick the ball as high and as far in a certain direction. So
the objective is simple. The process is not, is what it seems like.
Yeah,
right?
There's a time and a place to be really, self-analytical with it. And, Coach Biaggi is really good with that as well. He was a kicker and a punter in college, so he really knows what he's talking about as well. But yeah, there's certainly a time and a place to be analytical with it, but you also got to, know when to just pick a target and kick to it and let your body kind of subconsciously do what you've trained it to do.
It's fascinating.
It's so interesting, especially as like when fans watch, like you said, it's something so like, it sounds so simple. You kick it as far and high as you go. But I didn't even know about the 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
It was 1 o'clock and 11 o'clock.
When
It was hit the laces to 1 o'clock,
right,
angle the ball,
and then
I
the hip.
on that.
I knew nothing about that, so it's just
I'll have to take you under my wing at practice.
Well, I appreciate that. If it's anything like a golf swing, though, I'm in a lot of trouble. It's gonna.
So, have you ever tried to actually like see how you could punt? Have you ever tried it? Just like, I'm sure you've kicked a football.
I have kicked the football,
but like, have you punted it and been like, okay,
I punted it in my high school game before. Actually,
okay. What was
it went well, but
how far did it go?
I'm 25, 30. Is that okay?
Yeah, by his standards, no. But
yeah, but high school.
Yeah, high school.
We're tight.
I
didn't have any of the time.
Flipping the field as best we
They
can.
got the ball off, and they weren't expecting it, so there was no returner. I was quarterback, so
There you go.
Punting is one of those things, though. Just to go back to something you alluded to,
yeah.
it's one of the few things that fans, probably most likely incorrectly, could look at and say, I could do that. Or that's the thing that, like, I know the fan subconsciously knows they can't cover a receiver, or they can't throw like CJ Carr, Kenny Minchie, right? They can't rush the quarterback like Boubacar. You even probably know they can't necessarily place kick, because that seems so much more daunting. But dropping the ball and kicking it,
Right.
I could do that. So I feel like the punter sometimes is under the gun. Anytime the punter doesn't excel at the highest level, it's like, whoa, how'd you blow it? Do you get that sense ever that like I'm the position where the feedback is it's the most rarely over the top positive, if that makes sense, because people feel like they could do your job. You get that?
No, 100%. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. People probably don't even want to see you out on the field because it means that the offensive drive is stalled out. So we're already off to a bad start there. But
Here comes James.
yeah. No, like I was saying before, there's a lot that goes into it, and I actually I love doing it. I really enjoy it. I've been kicking a ball my whole life. I kind of figured I had a big kick back in grade 1 of elementary school. We had this thing called football day where like Melbourne is a football mad, like Australian football mad state. So we had football day where everyone would dress up in their team's colours, and we'd have a few different challenges, and we had like a longest kicking comp, and I think I took that out pretty comfortably. So I kind of figured out a big kick from a young age, and I love doing it. Like I would punt all day, every day if I could, but my hamstring probably won't allow me. So I just have a lot of fun when I'm out there doing it, and the opinions of others is kind of just external noise. It doesn't really mean anything to me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm just trying to do the best I can for my team, just so that we can achieve team glory. And I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I know all the other guys, because there's 10 other guys on the punt unit as well. That everyone has a job and a role to do, whether it's a long snapper or the shield protecting me or the gunners getting down the field. We take a lot of pride in that, and it's one of those rare instances where you can really change field position. So I love doing it. I take a lot of pride in it. And what people say or might not be saying doesn't really have an impact on me.
Yeah, what Coach Freeman actually says is the punt is the most important play in football.
So I think he got that when he gets here. We should ask him about it, because I think he got that from Jim Tressel. I think, because I've heard. I think it is, and I'll confirm with him. But it's the only play where the ball changes. It starts with one team and ends in the other team. Except for, kickoff, you don't even start with possession of the ball, right? So it's like the only time you can truly change possession of the field with what you do. And so it's like the most unique play in football in many ways. So that passion, I think, comes from there. I have one more question before we take a break and bring in Coach Freeman. It's actually, maybe it's more of a trivia question, actually, for Isaiah.
Oh, no.
Do you know how many video games James Rendell is in?
1. He's not in 2 because the first NCAA game didn't put him in time. Correct?
Wow, you've taken this a different direction.
Yeah.
Just count. He's in the NCAA football game. Is there any other video game that's not the NCAA football game he's in?
So like the rugby game?
Australian football. Come on, dude.
I don't know how many times I've had to say.
They all think you play rugby.
Yeah, I played Australian football.
He's in the Australian Football League football game, AFL 23.
AFL 23, yeah.
I didn't even know it was a football game.
I guess that's my claim to fame, being in 2 different sports video games.
He could be the only person that I know of. In 2 different sports.
What years?
AFL. So that was AFL 23, and then I was in college football 24.
Yeah.
I'm not a big gamer though, so I haven't even.
So you haven't been in the Madden tournaments?
I'm sure they made my character bald on that AFL 23 game. So.
That was me. I called him and said, they go look like me.
Yeah.
So you don't play the video games. Okay.
Wait. So you're in the AFL one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to play that.
Yeah.
I didn't
No, it's
figure out how to get a
actually-
copy.
Maybe I'll go
Well,
down with it.
I ended up buying a game eventually, only because I bought a PlayStation because I wanted to play the college football game to try and learn more about the game. I wanted to learn like the defensive play calls and offensive play calls, but
Did that work?
I only played about 5 games and then I got bored of it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Can you real quick then explain for Isaiah really, and
Please.
the difference between Australian rules football and I guess American football, but also make sure that he knows it's not rugby too.
Yeah.
What's the biggest? How would you explain it as quickly as?
Well,
you
I'd say like you are right in thinking that Australians play rugby. Rugby is a big sport there,
Right.
but Australian football is like the biggest sport there by far.
Really?
Like, it's enormous. They get like 100,000 at games at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. It's always a good time. But it's hard to explain. It's played on a massive oval, right? So you got to run all day. I'm glad I don't have to do an Aussie rules preseason anymore because they were brutal. We'd have to do, time trials and
Okay.
speed tests and all that sort of stuff. But it's played on a big oval. There's 18 players on each team, so there's 36 players out on the field at any one time.
Oh.
And it's full contact, but I guess it's kind of like soccer in the sense that you're trying to progress the ball down the field to kick it through the goalposts, and you get 6 points for that. And except it's different to soccer because you use your hands and you kick the ball out of your hands like a punt. So that's kind of the main objective of it. And after you kick a goal, if you kick it through the 2 big sticks, you get 6 points, and the ref will come back to the middle of the field and throw it up in the air, and back it goes into scrimmage. And it's just like a constant scrimmage until there's a stoppage. If it goes out of bounds, the ref will throw it back into play, and then it's just back into a live scrimmage.
It sounds a little bit like rugby, right?
Yeah.
Like when I hear that sounds more like rugby than American football. Would that be
Yeah,
accurate?
correct.
Yeah.
I would say it's more like rugby in the sense that it's like sort of constant. You're always involved, which is one of the things that I kind of had to, I guess, overcome when I got here, because I'd gone from playing a game where I was constantly involved in the play. Like the only time you get a break is if you come off the bench.
We had one punt this last week.
Yeah. And then here, we go out and do a warm up, and then I might sit on the bench for like, 2 hours before we go out, and, you have 30 seconds to execute and do your best, and then you go sit on the bench again. So that was kind of one of the things that I had to overcome and, work out what I need to do to be in an optimal state, like mentally and physically, for that, 30 seconds when I'm out there. But I would say to check it out on YouTube, Aussie Rules Football. Like it's a really fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds extremely hard and way harder than American football. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, for me, like my obligations and duties are a little bit different. Like I was saying, I sit on the bench now, so physically it's definitely not as hard as Australian football was.
You know what?
Yeah.
He actually led me to the thing I wanted to talk with him about and Coach Freeman when they get there, which is about his pregame routine. So we're going to stop right there. All right. Coach Freeman, great to have you. How are you?
Wonderful. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we flipped the format a little bit this week. Isaiah has done a great job already. We've learned a ton about James Rendell. I want to dive into a little bit more with him and you in a second, but I do see the shirt you're wearing. Here Come the Irish, Season 2, coming out. What's your excitement level for Year 2 of Here Come the Irish?
I'm sure it's going to be some good things. I haven't seen it, but
Okay.
Actually, last year as a family, once the season was over, we kind of watched all of them. I think we did it in like one night, but I think there'll be some good stuff in there.
I've seen the trailer. It got me really excited to watch it. They did a great job last year. Did you watch last year's?
I haven't
full
yet.
season?
I want to watch it back in like 15 years so I can kind of like live through it a little bit. So right now I'm just like, very present and in the moment and focused on the job and task at hand. But I really want to look back on it in, 15, 20 years from now and get to relive it all again.
You can watch it now and watch it 15 years from now.
That's true, but I guess it'll kind of...
It probably won't be as
Yeah.
good then, though.
Yeah.
I remember watching it last year. I love watching it because my voice is all over it. No. I love watching it because it was just such a fun season. But we were talking during the break before we were waiting for Coach Freeman to show up here that you are like so in the moment that, and it's exactly what he was talking about. I've talked to you about this a little bit, just like with careers, and I've talked to Coach Shrewsbury about it. Like when you're in the moment, you want to be where your feet are, is what you said. And just, you'll go back and watch as a time capsule later. Like how focused are you on just what you're doing right now at Notre Dame and trying to just take it all in and be where your feet are as a punter?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm very mindful that, I've got a job to do, and ultimately the reason I'm here is to be the best punter I can be for this football team so that, we can achieve team glory on Saturdays. But at the same time, you're trying to make the most of the experience. And, this place has, it's very good in the sense that it exposes you to people that you probably wouldn't necessarily get to meet. So it unlocks a lot of doors in that sense as well. And, I'm very grateful for some of the people I've been able to meet, and I'm just trying to, leave no stone unturned in making sure that I get the most out of my experience here. But, at the same time, it's a balancing act because I'm mindful that ultimately the reason I'm here is because I've got a job to do.
Yeah, it seems like the challenge. I think I talked to a lot of student athletes come through. It's like you want to soak it all in and appreciate it, but you have to focus on the task at hand. You can't reflect. Like, how do you as the head coach manage that? Because you said you had family night and you watched last season, but I know that you quickly turned the page to this season. So, like, how do you make that balancing act work?
It's just interesting to listen to James. His position, those of specialists, you have to be like that. I'm sure he probably wasn't so dialed in before he got here, but to have success at that position, you have to just truly focus on this task right at hand. And, I think I often remind myself as I tell the players that life, winning a football game, having a successful punt, it's all a reflection of being in the moment, right? You to win the football game, you have to stress and strain in the moment. And then if you do that enough, you get those brief moments where you can go, man, job well done. Job accomplished. Bam, he hits a good, he's so focused and locked in the moment. He's stressed and all of a sudden hits a good point and it goes 50 yards and he goes, all right, that was a good one. And then you get back into
thought
the moment.
after the thought.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, you celebrate and then you move on, right?
Yeah. But that's that's life. And I mean, it's Monday and all of a sudden all I'm focusing in on is Pittsburgh, and it's like, man, here we go. We start back over. But that's a reflection of how to win a game. That's a reflection of how to do a good job at your job, and a reflection of life, I believe.
We talked a little bit about punt, and he was explaining the mechanics to us, and it was fascinating to hear him explain the 1.2 seconds he has, getting the laces to 1 o'clock, getting the ball to 11 o'clock. Here's what I want to kind of dig in more on. Like, how do you manage? You said you had to learn how to kind of get yourself in the right mindset because it's so different than Aussie rule football where you're playing the whole time. What have you done to make sure that when that moment comes up, you're ready to peak and you do only have so many opportunities to excel in the game?
Yeah, I mean, it took probably a couple of struggles and, I guess their learnings, from last year. And I guess I'll continue to continuously learn. It's an ever-evolving thing on this journey to reach your full potential and be the best you can be. But for me, obviously coming from a sport where I was always constantly involved in the play to now, like, sitting down on the bench for a while and then coming out and having 10 seconds to execute was obviously very different. And it's a challenge that I had to overcome. So I think, certainly at times I might have been, doing too much in the warm-ups. And I guess really trying to control the outcomes when you just got to really be process oriented. And I take a lot of confidence from my preparation and making sure that, I'm getting outside my comfort zone and choosing hard during the week to ensure that, I'm preparing as best I can to put myself into a position to have success on game day. And then on game day, I guess it's just about having the discipline to stay focused and present. I find some of my better punts are when I'm just so intensely focused on the moment and doing the best I can in that moment. Versus where at times where I've let myself down and my teammates down is probably where, I'm thinking too much about outcomes and the numbers and statistics and things like that. You can't allow that to distract you. You just have to focus on what you've got to do to be successful in that moment, because that's all you've got. You've got like 3 seconds, 1.2 seconds with the ball in your hand. And then once the ball leaves your foot, you can't do anything about it. So, I guess I get a lot of confidence from my preparation. And
Coach, I feel like you're very passionate about special teams. Mm-hmm. So what do you admire most about a great punt and it all coming together? Because I heard him describe all 11 guys, the 1.2 seconds. It looks, and I'm watching on TV, it's a punt. But I feel like it does take all 11 guys to execute a really high-level punt. What do you admire most about when they execute a really well-done punt?
Well, there's so much and so many people that go into that, right? And that's what to me, you admire the work he's put in. I mean, all those things he just talked about, through the failures, through the intentionality of his process, through the people and I think about the people that worked with him, Coach Biaggi, Joey Raymaker, and Jesse Schmidt and Milt, Vincent, and all the people that have worked with him. And then you think about the 10 other guys on that field that have to do their job. He can't do his job unless the snap is where it needs to be.
On the hip.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Shout out to Vinci.
That's there's so much work and so many people that put effort and struggle so he can hit a great punt. And that's the result. And so it's a reminder of how important it is, all those little things and all the people it takes to get that outcome.
How excited do you get when a call comes in for a fake?
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm building up a pretty good resume for Hollywood after this, with all these fake runs I'm doing, and it's always good fun to be able to go out and execute with the guys, because obviously the coaches and the players, we put a lot of work into it. So to go out and be successful, it's a lot of fun, and I'm happy to play whatever part it is in that to ensure.
He's waiting for the one that includes him actually have the ball and run.
Yeah, I've been waiting on my throw a little bit. Yeah. I've been getting.
He's trying to convince.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll keep an eye on the sideline, see if you're lobbying for the play call. I will say, because he was saying when the punter comes out, usually people are frustrated because the offense, it's fourth down. I'm at the point where the punt team comes out, and I'm like, I get excited. It's like, ooh, are they going to maybe go to the fake here? And so I'll keep an eye out for if you're going to roll out and maybe throw back. Who knows?
We'll see.
I want to talk about your dad a little bit, if you don't mind. Matt, right? He played Australian rules football, and I know he unfortunately passed a couple of years ago. So I'd love to just hear you talk about him and his impact on you, because I also understand that he was really instrumental in you making this transition to play American football. So whatever you can share, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, for sure. I'll start by saying I appreciate the way that he raised me. He was always hard but fair, and kind of really let me, figure things out on my own and make my own mistakes and learn from them, which looking back, I really appreciate that, because I guess it allowed me to mature pretty quickly. But yeah, he was pretty instrumental in the whole process of coming over here, because he was the one that sort of planted the seed in my mind that this is something that I could do. So in Australia, obviously with the time difference, the college football games are on all Sunday. So, I'd spend, my Sunday sitting on the couch with ESPN on watching college football games. And one day, we were both home and we were watching the national championship game. I think it was in 2016 between Alabama and Clemson. One of those games. They played a few. And he kind of mentioned that, if you wanted to, you could be a punter, because he knew this guy whose name is Nathan Chapman, who runs Pro Kick Australia. They played together for 1 year at Brisbane. Obviously, Dad played Australian football up there, and he sort of mentioned that and planted that seed. So from that moment onwards, I became really interested in college football. I'd watch all the ESPN 30 for 30s. The Catholics versus Convicts was a good one. And it was always kind of in the back of my mind. Meanwhile, I was still pursuing this AFL dream of mine to play in the Australian Football League. But, it was always kind of in the back of my mind. And then, we encountered some difficult circumstances, especially, with COVID and things like that. Melbourne, the city, which I was living in, was actually ended up being the most locked down city in the world. But we won't get into politics. That's a discussion for another day. So that made it hard to even go to the grocery store about, 5 minutes from my house, let alone move across the other side of the world. But, it was something that I was still in the back of my mind and, wanted to pursue. And then it kind of wasn't until Dad passed away. He passed away suddenly from a heart attack while walking the dog. And they rushed him off to this hospital, but he was already dead. I remember, going into the hospital and seeing him there, and it was tough to see that. But if there was any good to come of that, it's that, in that moment I realized that life is short and nothing's guaranteed, and there's no reason to say why that couldn't be you tomorrow dying. So you got to go out there, and I made a promise to myself that I would live the rest of my life in a way that would allow me to reach my full potential. And I think the only way you can do that is to get outside your comfort zone. And I don't think there's any better way to get outside your comfort zone, to move across the other side of the world on your own and play a sport that you've never played before. so kind of immediately after that happened, I got on the phone again to the guys at Pro Kick. I'd been sort of communicating with, and I'd been to a couple sessions, but like I was saying, circumstances didn't permit it. And and in that moment, I said, like, it's time to really go all in on it, and picked up the American football and had some really rundown pads and helmets that had probably been passed through a few different people, and put them on and just got to work, and just really fell in love with punting. I really enjoy it, and it's given me a lot of purpose. And like I said, I had no guarantees of like where I'd get a scholarship to. So, when I found out that I'd be coming to the University of Notre Dame, I was it was the best day of my life. So, since then I've been holding myself to the highest standard of living possible to ensure that I'm in the best position I can be to help this team.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, and I feel bad hearing about how your dad passed, obviously, but thanks for sharing that. And I think that it's a great perspective that we get. I mean, I feel like we've gotten a lot this year, Coach. Like, there's so many things that are bigger than football, but it does just once again put you in the frame of mind, and the way you've kind of processed that to just make the most of every day. It's a great reminder, I think, for all of us and anybody on the football team to adopt that mindset if they don't have it, right?
Yeah. I do feel like he's on this journey with me as well. I forgot to mention that when I did speak to Coach Freeman on FaceTime, it was actually my dad's first birthday without him. So that was the day that I got, offered a scholarship here in April last year. And then I was actually playing my first ever college football game against Texas A&M on what was Father's Day in Australia, because Father's Day is on the first Sunday of September. So, there's a few little coincidences that, probably aren't coincidences. So I really do feel like, he's on this journey with me and watching over me.
What was the experience like for you bringing James into the Notre Dame community, and then considering, what he had just gone through too? It seems like it was perfect timing for him to kind of come to Notre Dame as well.
Yeah, it was a fast kind of experience. He was right off FaceTime. I mean, we knew we needed a punter.
Yeah.
And Coach Biaggi has a relationship with the coach he was talking about, and said, get the best Aussie punter we can find. And, then we FaceTimed. I heard the story, kind of his background about his father, but also the Aussie football and all those things. And, Coach Biaggi sent me a couple clips that they had sent him of him punting the ball, and he had a strong leg. And I just said, he's got to trust us, man. Like, you have to trust us that we're going to be here for you and to help you reach your full potential, as he said. And so, unique experience, because I'm such a relationship guy, and to try to convince him to choose to come to Notre Dame. And we talked one time, and it was something that doesn't happen often, but we've just grown from there. From that moment, I've seen growth in our relationship and his relationship with our program, with his coaches, and in the way he punts the ball has continued to excel.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch the punting, frankly. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left here. Just hard pivot. Did you bring Vegemite, or did you bring any Australian snacks? Do we have them?
Yeah, I may have got my hands on some Vegemite. And
Are you aware of what they're going to try to have us do, or no?
No.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Vegemite.
You want to explain what Vegemite is? Because I've heard it's not very tasty, but everyone loves it in Australia.
Yeah, look, it's an Australian staple. It's a spread. So I don't know if we have any toast here, but I think
this is your favorite snack that you're missing from Australia.
Yeah,
I saw the video.
Debatable. Yeah, I can't.
You're gonna have to explain that better than what you just did.
Yeah, it's a spread. So we want to eat it with some bread, but I don't know if we have any bread on hand. So I don't know if we want to get it.
It's
a spread. Taste it.
You stop it. It's a spread. Like,
yeah.
What is that?
What's in the spread?
Well, you put it on toast with some warm butter.
Yeah.
And you should use a very minimal amount of it. Some people get carried away and think you need to smother it in Vegemite, but it's a pretty acquired taste.
In the Vegemite.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to know. What's in there?
I don't know. Let's look at the ingredients.
Oh, yeah.
It's got yeast extract. Salt.
Like
barley.
Chocolate?
Yeah.
Or
No, it's not.
No,
it's
this is not.
sweet.
They've also brought Tim Tams. So
Tim Tam.
Can we try Tim Tam?
We can try Tim Tams. Yeah.
Explain it, Tim Tam.
Tim Tam is like a chocolate covered biscuit, so kind of like an Oreo.
A chocolate. But no, I can.
Yeah.
I can. Man, I think Coach. Yeah, we can set it.
Yeah, take a look at that.
You gotta try it for yourself. So is it veggies?
Why is it called Vegemite? I think it really throws me off. It's the name.
That's a good question, but you can smell it if you want. You want to taste some? I mean, it's probably really bit.
It looks like chocolate though.
It does. Yeah, it's a bit deceiving.
You gonna try it?
You
I'll try it if you try it. That's kind of my
try a little bit of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try it.
Let's try Tim Tam first. We're gonna go reverse order.
I've always told him
Can't get
there's a
you know.
great Disney cruise. My wife always tells me that goes to Australia. That I think it happens during the season.
Oh, yeah.
It goes from Hawaii to Australia.
She wants to take the
You
whole
want to
thing.
try?
I would
Try a little bit.
Really?
I would
And
love.
just be careful. It's pretty bitter.
You said you're grabbing a cracker. We'll wait.
We're gonna crack
I
it.
wanna
Yeah,
try
you can try Tim Tam.
Okay, Vegemite is a brand of a thick, dark brown
These
Australian
are
food
solid.
spread made with leftover brewer's yeast extract with various vegetable and spice additives.
Yeah, I don't know where it
that
came
doesn't
from.
sound
but
terribly
yeah,
appetizing. I got to be honest. This looks good there.
yeah, the Tim Tams are good.
Okay, this is like a
Yeah,
it's like an Oreo.
it's kind of like an Oreo. Yeah, just a chocolate covered biscuit.
I like the
Yeah.
chocolate, but it's kind of like a chocolate covered Oreo.
Yeah,
It's just like a good chocolate cookie.
yeah,
Actually, really good.
yeah. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna give this. We're gonna rate these.
Yeah, you can get them
8.5.
at
8.5.
yeah, 8.5. I think that's fair.
I can use some milk.
Some milk.
And got that Topo Chico water.
Yeah.
Want,
Heard
Coach?
some milk and cookies.
Well,
You eat those with milks?
I mean, you can
Is there another?
What do you drink?
just normal milk. Yeah, sometimes I cow's milk. I guess sometimes if I'm getting
Oh, like is it like vitamin D, whole
Oh.
milk, skim milk?
yeah, light skim.
Skim?
Yeah,
Hey, this before they get the cracker here, this actually takes me to another question I had here. Are you a big coffee guy?
yeah. I love coffee. In Australia, the coffee is great. There's an Australian cafe in Chicago. It's called Chapel Street Cafe, and it's probably the best coffee I've had here. And I asked the owner there, what do you do differently? Because like a lot of the coffee places here, like I love America, but the coffee here isn't great.
Wow.
To be honest,
fired.
yeah.
I don't like Starbucks.
Start, yeah. Are they a sponsor of the podcast?
No,
That's
I'm
like-
so
yeah.
it's like it's close to my heart.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
No, Starbucks is alright. It gets the job done, but
Gets the
Like
choice.
Dunkin' Donuts?
I haven't tried Dunkin' Donuts yet. Yeah.
Oh, you think of
I
it?
don't think is there one in South Bend. I haven't come across one.
Probably in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they just roast the beans differently. In Australia there's a local coffee shop on the corner of every store, so they take a lot of pride in their coffee, I guess, because they got so many competitors. Whereas here it's all like franchise owned, so you got like Starbucks and Dunkin'. So
Do you have like Australian coffee beans sent to you?
no, so the coffee beans still come from South America. So this is what I was finding out when I was speaking to the guy at that cafe. He said the coffee beans all come from the same place, but it's all in the way they roast the beans. I don't know the exact intricate details of it, but
I was hoping you would. I was just
Yeah.
gonna ask. Yeah.
yeah, I'll have to come back another time and
But
get
you
back
think
to you on that. But
you prefer the Australian coffee?
yeah, it's awesome. When I went back there in May, and I pretty much just lived off coffee and sushi for the 2 weeks that I was there. So yeah,
Good.
Are you a coffee guy? I'm not sure I've ever really asked you.
Oh yeah, in the mornings.
What's your go-to order?
I'm an Americano. If I get Starbucks, it's Americano. But I mean, I'll just drink black coffee.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I just need some caffeine and let's go.
yeah.
are you your coffee in the morning? Like, that's a good question. Game day.
Yeah.
Are you drinking a coffee before the game? Is that how this goes?
I'll drink one in the morning, yeah. But as you get closer to the game, like, you kind of get a bit of adrenaline, so you don't really need the caffeine as such. But I'll get one in the morning to get me going and get the blood flowing.
Okay. Have you ever used one of these for your Vegemite? I mean, it's going to get the job done, I think.
Yeah,
But-
and there's a first for everything, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I'm going to grab mine. I'll
Yeah.
pass it down.
Here you go.
Okay. I'll start this train here. This is going to be A+ content. You need to send this back to everyone in Australia.
Yeah, I will.
For the
This will go viral.
Okay. Let's see.
The things we do on the pod.
Yeah. So what we have this is like a corn wafer, for lack of a better term. We're going to put the Vegemite on it. Okay, James, here's wow, it does. This looks like dark chocolate,
Yeah, don't let
dark
it fool you.
chocolate sauce.
It's very bitter.
And I should take I'm taking very little. Like that much? You can't even see
Jeez,
it.
that's not- you can't even taste it.
Hold on.
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay, hold on. We've got a spoon. We could have, I could have done a better job of this, getting this all set up for this. Okay.
If you're gonna try, you gotta try.
Yeah, exactly. Don't just dip the toes.
Like that?
Don't.
Yeah, I'll have the whole bite.
Good,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll pass it down to Coach.
Don't
Can't wait.
dip your toe.
Yeah, don't
Right?
dip.
Go all
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have a spoon. Where did the spoon come from?
Can't wait to see this.
That's not a mistake here. I need to make sure I have plenty of water to wash this down. I get the sense reading about it that I kind of a second chip. Okay, we'll say fine. Okay. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, no.
Wow. Okay, hold on. Coach. Help, Coach.
Is this a... Never mind.
The context
What am
matters.
I getting there? There's something
It's bitter, isn't it?
bitter.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's another Tim. The context matters, though. You get nice warm toast, a lot of butter, very minimal Vegemite, and it's 10 out of 10. It's a gourmet meal right there. But
You like that?
well,
I'm not going to be disrespectful. I don't like it.
I'll
You're
say
gonna
it's
like
acquired taste. Like it took me a while for my taste buds to come around
the
to it.
camera
But
is zoomed in on Coach Sheehan right now because I think he's seen the other side.
luckily, we got the Tim Tams here to wash it down.
You know,
The cookie is critical, yeah.
my mom's Korean, and so I've learned to never disrespect somebody else.
Yeah,
because
no disrespect.
not everybody likes Korean
It's
food.
not for me.
But yeah, that was different. It was different. Different's
was-
one way to put it.
Did you like
yeah,
it?
right?
I can taste the what it's tasted like to me a little bit. There's the hint of it's the brewer's yeast.
Yeah.
Again, trying to be respectful. It's like it felt like to me like like you could taste like a stale beer. Almost.
Correct. That's how I explain it to people.
Stale beer.
Yeah. When they asked me what it tastes like, I said, yeah,
Okay.
like a beer.
Well,
I've never tasted something like that in my life.
yeah, neither have I.
Ever.
It's unique.
Really unique.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
There's probably a reason they don't stock it on the shelves in America.
but it's a big thing
Yeah.
over there, right? Yeah, I mean, you're not the only guy.
Yeah.
James, thanks for coming by. It was great to obviously learn more about you. Coach busting out the mints. Maybe one. I think get one when we get out here too. Thanks a bunch. It's been fun to watch you these last couple of years, and just keep doing what you're doing. Enjoy the whole process and keep it up. Great meeting you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're the best.
Coming on here. Appreciate it.
You're the best.
Thanks again to Coach Freeman and to James Rendell for swinging by today. We are not done yet, though. It is time for our Ask the Host segment as I continue to wash down that Vegemite with the Topo Chico over here. Really fun experience learning more about that unique treat. Again, as Coach Freeman said, I don't think it's for us, but it's for James, and I'm glad he likes it. Okay, here's our question this week. Again, reminder, if you want to ask a question, here's where you go, fightingirish.com/wakeup, or just throw the option out there if you don't want to go to the URL, which you should do it formally. If you drop a question in the YouTube comments, we might read it as well. So this one comes from Cassandra Rapp, Florida. I'm going to guess what that is, 5006. So I'll just go with Cassandra. Thank you for the question. Here's the question she has. Do I have to go to the bookstore to get one of the Notre Dame tumblers that we've been talking about on the show? It's her first game in South Bend this next week for Syracuse. What's something I must do while in South Bend, and what are some good food recommendations? Okay, first things first, the tumblers, as we've talked about, here we go. I'll show them to you one more time. These are available in the bookstore, yes, but it's not the only place. You should go to the bookstore to get one, though, if you want to when you're on campus for that game in a couple weeks. But you can also get them in the stadium during the game. Great opportunity. One last home game. It's kind of hard to believe. One last home regular season game for Notre Dame when they play Syracuse a couple of weeks from now. So you can get one in the stadium or at the bookstore while you're on campus. Those are your way to get them. They're awesome. Yeti does a great job, obviously, with all their products. But that's your answer. So yes, bookstore, but also stadium. Now, as for food recommendations, that's a little bit of a tricky one for me because I'm usually eating in the press box, quite frankly. I'm spoiled. As we get ready for the game, there's food up there. But I, of course, have eaten in and around campus on a game day here and there. So first things first, I'm probably going to send you towards Eddy Street just to check it out. I noticed actually last week, I never really realized this, there's no through traffic with vehicles. So it's really easy to get around, bop from place to place, check out where you want to go. I'd start with Eddy Street and just see what's available. The closer you get to Kick, from my understanding, is the busier it might be. So if you're looking to eat well before the game, you probably have a good shot. I was walking by some of the establishments before this game, a little bit closer to Kick. I'm not sure you're going to find a table, so it might be a little bit tricky. But Eddy Street, great place to start just to check it out, and maybe you can grab some food there. There's plenty of options, a diverse array. The next two places I'm going to give you are on campus, and again, it kind of comes down to when in the week you're walking around, when in the day you're walking around, if it is on game day or the day before. Legends on campus is a great spot, full restaurant, full bar, full opportunity to just hang out. It's right by the stadium. about 100 yards from one of the gates to enter on the south side of the stadium. So you'd probably try to go to Legends if you can. Great spot, historic place here on campus. But the place I was actually checking out this past week in the lead up to the game was at the Morris Inn and Roars. Excellent restaurant. Very difficult, I think, to actually get a reservation on game day. You should book ahead if you want to try to sit down and eat. But the bar is open seating. Amazing menu of food there. I go there just on occasion, at night or in the afternoon for lunch sometimes and on campus. Great spot, period. And if you're by yourself, if you're a single, you can probably find a seat at that bar. If you're not traveling alone, you might need to book ahead and find a place. But that's an awesome place to sit down, grab a bite, also on campus at the Morris Inn, about a 5-minute walk from the stadium. So those are my recommendations, just one man's idea. Feel free to crowdsource it in other ways. And again, I'm probably not the best guy to ask because I just don't spend a ton of time on game day or the day leading up eating on campus. I'm sure there's some hidden gems nearby and around that somebody else could direct you towards. But that's the best I can do. Cassandra, thank you for the question. Really appreciate it. And again, if you want to ask a question, fightingirish.com/wakeup or drop it in the comments. We'll accept it begrudgingly if you don't want to go to the URL. All right, that's it for this week's show. Huge game for football coming up this weekend at Pitt. College game day is going to be there. Love the noon kickoff. Going to be so fun to watch them try to win their 8th in a row. Feels like a really big opportunity for the football team. Thanks again to Coach Freeman for coming by. It was great learning more about James Rendell. And as always, thanks to Isaiah Dunn for being him. Until next time, we'll talk to you again on Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com.